Okay, so Baby I Love Your Way by Peter Frampton. A great song, you know, really one of those kind of magical songs. And really kind of the way he plays it that makes it special. Because I think, you know, if you just heard this song on the radio and you wanted to work it out, you know, you might just play it like this. You know, and that would sound fine down there, you know, just using those basic chords, right? But the thing is, what makes a lot of these songs so special, and in my opinion, you know, what makes them last so long, is they're played in really different kind of ways. And this one is no exception. And it's played with these two-note chords, okay? There's a lot of muting going on. So you're getting these chords here. Right? And if you think about it, it's you know, it's a lot of those chords, right? It's the same thing, the same key, the same idea. So, which leads me to think that, you know, he was probably pretty heavily influenced by this song. Okay, so anyways, what we're going to do here is we're going to start up here on A10 and B12. I use my little finger for all these formations. And I think it's probably the best way to do it. So try and use your little finger as opposed to your third, although you could use your third. And what we're doing here is we're going to mute the E string. So I just, you know, hold my middle finger over there. And we're going to mute the D string. We're going to let the G string ring open. We're fretting the B string, and we're going to mute the E string. Okay, so we're going to get, if we hit all 6 strings, mute, sound, mute, sound, sound, mute. Okay, and the whole key to this song is keeping that open G ringing. When we change chords, if we deaden that, like, you know, it's just going to kill it completely. The whole thing is to have that ringing, and I suppose it's a technique. It's the muting, you know, that you're going to have to. You're going to have to really work on that just to. So you're just getting those 3 strings ringing, right? The A string, the G string, and the B string. Okay, so we're going to start up here, like I said, A10, B12. And then we're going to slide down to here, which is A9 and B10. Okay. And then we'll slide that whole thing down 2 frets. So we're A7 and B8. Okay, so we got, I mean, I'll do it this way to kind of show you, but I can't play that way. So I'll have to have my fingers hanging over here. So far we've got. And now is as good a time as any to talk about the strumming. The basic strumming is. And sometimes he'll go. Other times he'll go. Leave that one out, right? It starts with the busier one. And then one that leaves the one out, right? The one beat out. And what's really, really kind of bizarre actually about this song is, well, it's live, right? So it's completely imperfect. In the beginning, I actually tapped it out, and it starts about 165 BPM. But by the time he starts singing, you're down to about 149. Okay, so, you know, I guess he's all excited, and he starts it out about like, yes. And then it starts to slow down, right? Because I think what happens is when the drummer comes in, he kind of like, whoa, you know, he's like, what the hell? He puts the brakes on it, so brings it back to, you know, a tempo that you can play it and sing it. But I guess he was just kind of excited, but who knows, right? Anyway, so that's your first 3 formations, and that strumming. When you get to this one, okay, there's 2 different ways he'll strum that chord. So we're going to go. And the first time he hits this chord, he's going to strum it like this. So it's down, down, up, right? Down, down, up, 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 up. 4 ups. Down, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's right? Down, 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 down. Okay, and he'll alternate between that and this. Right? So that's the first one, and that's the second one. So where he does that, I'm not exactly sure. You'd have to listen to the track to get those, but I know the first one he does this. Okay, so he throws that rhythm in there every now and then, mostly on that chord, but sometimes later on too on this chord. Okay, so anyways, let's take it from the top. So we got this. Okay, now we're going to go. So we're going down to A5 and B7, and then A3 and B5. Okay. So far. Okay, now we're going to carry on and do this. Okay, so what we're doing there is a B minor 7, and I think in the old days he played it more like that. I actually think he does this with the thumb. I don't use my thumb because I'm just crappy at it. I don't like doing it, so I always bring my middle finger over. But if you're a thumb guy, you got a big thumb, right? You can do it like that, or you can do it like that, or like that. Whatever way you like to use your thumb, because we're just barring the D, G, B, and E strings and hitting the bass note with our thumb or finger. So like I said, I do it with my finger. So that's one form of a B minor 7, right? But you can also do it this way, just like a B major chord, and then just only fret that note, right? A, what is that, 10? Or no, A9. Okay, I think most guys know that minor 7 form. And if you look at his more recent videos, he seems to want to play it this way now. Okay, so we're okay, and then we're going to slide that down too. You know, so your thumb thing, or that thing that I do, or this thing, whatever way you want to do it. I'm going to do it. Actually, what I did there is I did it this way because I think for me it sounds the best and is the easiest. So I'm just going to play an open A and bar there instead of getting the A here. I'm just going to get it there. Okay, so we'll go. Because our next chord is here, which is the way I do it is open D and then bar in the 5th and fret E7. But you could do it this way. You could bar that whole thing and hit your little finger there. Right? Now that or that. Same chord, right? Just a little bit different sound. Okay, so that whole thing so far then, starting from the first chord, is okay, and that's the rhythm, right? And that's an upstroke, the last one. And then just before he gets back to here, he goes, it's an up-down, right? And then we're back to this, all right? Okay, so that's the intro. Now the verses are the same thing. Until we get to that chord, right? And that chord there, I know a lot of guys will play like an F9 there, and essentially it is an F9. We're barring here on the 8th fret, the G, B, and E strings, and then we're putting our first finger on D7. But I'm pretty sure he's getting the C note there instead of the F note. So E8 instead of A8. And if you watch the live videos of him playing, this actually had me kind of screwed up because he frets it like this. He does that with his little finger, and then he's getting that C note, and his third finger is kind of laying over here, right? So I'm kind of looking at that, and because I can't really see his little finger, I'm wondering what chord is that he's playing. But you're going more on sound. You can just tell that's what it is, right? So if you want to do it that way, like he does. To me, I find that really awkward, but whatever's good for you, whatever works for you, right? So, but anyways, it's like an F9, but just over the C bass, okay? So we've got this. Okay, and then that carries on. We do it twice. Then we go to the B minor 7. Okay, now we're going to go to E7. Okay, and that's just C7 basically. Your C and then your C7. Slide that up to here. Sorry, to starting on A7. And you can play all 6 strings there because you've got an open E here, an open E here, right? So from here. Now we're going to go to A minor 7 here, and of course, you can do that way or this way for the B minor 7. Okay, and earlier I did it this way, but in this particular part of the song, I like that form because I like to hit all 6 strings. Right? Then we go to D7. The problem here is we can't have the open E's sounding, so we have to mute those, okay? So when you play all 6 strings, you want to get this. Muted, muted, okay? Alright, so from the B minor 7, E7, A minor 7, D7. Okay, now we're into the chorus, which is just G, D, A minor. Okay. Okay, and then we do the C. Down, 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 down. But we kind of work that in with our strumming, so. So the first one's on an upstroke, right? Down to that B note here on A2, that'll be on an upstroke. And the open A will be on a downstroke. Okay, so. Okay, and the last time. Back into that intro, okay? So that's it. That's the whole song. Really, you have to work on your muting, right? And keeping that open G is absolutely crucial. So, when you're changing from there to there, that has to ring. Okay? And don't slide those down. Like, actually deaden them and move them down, right? Those two, deaden them, like just. And as you deaden them, let that ring, okay? So. Alright. And I guess the only other part is the very ending, which coming out of the chorus would be. just G, D, E minor, and then C, just like we do in the chorus, right? And that's it, that's the song. Okay, yeah, great song, really love playing this. It sounds really, really good once you get your muting down. It's a really clean sounding. Love that descending pattern, and the coolest thing about that second chord, when you really think about it, and this is actually a kind of a neat little pointer in music in general, is that second chord is a semitone, right? So you've got an F sharp and a G, and I mean that's, other than a flat 5, that's like, than a flat 5, a semitone is probably one of the most dissonant sounds you can get on an instrument, right? But you throw this in there, you still got that it's really straining, right? It's really dissonant. So it's not the kind of chord you want to finish on, but in passing it sounds fantastic, right? So sounds so good, right? And that's kind of just an interesting thing about music, right? Which, kind of shows you that you can kind of use any notes you want, right? As long as what you land on is solid, you can have dissonance. And without the dissonance, you don't get any kind of sweetness, right? So it's kind of the yin, the yang, right? You got to have both. Anyways, don't want to get rambling on here too much about that. I hope you get something out of this. I hope you enjoy playing it. And yeah, we'll talk to you next time.